Hey, Product Boss. It's that time of year again. The holiday season is just around the corner. And here at the Product Boss, we are getting prepared early for the holiday season. Now, we know you're going to have a lot more than turkey and pumpkin pie on your plate later this year. So, we want to invite you to our free 3-part workshop series, The Product Boss's Guide to Getting Holiday Ready and Recession Proofing Your Business. Now, these workshops are brand new and revamped, and we're sharing some of the biggest tips and tricks on how to prepare yourself and your business so you can 2x your sales without 2xing your efforts. And with talks of a down economy, we want to make sure that you feel confident and prepared to push through no matter what. Listen, Product Boss, if we've learned anything over the past 2 years, we know you've got this, and we're stronger building our businesses together. And honestly, we have way too much fun to call it work. So the first workshop kicks off soon. Head to theproductboss.com/holiday to sign up today, and we will see you in there.
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey, everyone. I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-6-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together. Welcome, Stacy, to the Product Boss Facebook group.
So this is Stacy Kramer, and she is the owner of Atelieh, which are soft plushies. But I'd love for you to just, first off, just jump in and tell us your business and what you sell and where you sell it.
For sure. So I'm located just outside of Toronto, Ontario. I'm Canadian. I sell plushies that I design and make with 100% Canadian wool from local farmers. So it's been really cool to actually visit the farms and see where the wool comes from that I'm actually using. I've held the sheep. It's been absolutely amazing. I launched last year in September, and I haven't looked back. I actually turned down a full-time job offer last week.
Wow.
Wow. So you started in September 2020. I mean, that was probably quite difficult with actually it was perfect timing because it was right before the holiday season, right?
Yeah.
And then now you've become a full-time product boss.
I have, along with, my husband is my part-timer, but yes.
I'm going to have the team drop a link into your website. So if anyone is looking for adorable gifts, I'm in love with the octopus because that's sort of our spirit animal. I have one behind me. So they're handmade plushies. They're naturally made in Canada. Do you dye the wool or do you get the wool finished?
I get the wool finished, but I also have hired dyers to do the dyeing for me.
Very cool. And you're the maker, so you make everything?
Yeah, I design and make everything myself.
How's that going?
That's so cool.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And I've learned so much. It's been a ridiculous journey.
How did you or why did you start?
Well, that is a little bit of a sad story. I experienced a loss last year in September. And I was pregnant. I miscarried. It was my first pregnancy. No, it's okay. And my dream is to be a stay-at-home mom. And I just was like, I want to start something that I can work from home and do this while raising potential kids in the future. So I did this, and I was sick of corporate world because I was in retail as management for 7 years. And I was like, I'm done with it. I want to do my own thing. And that's whenever I launched all this.
And it's just taken off from there. So,
yes.
Amazing. So I guess, you signed up for Multi-Stream Machine in the beginning of the year, right? During one of our bestseller secret challenge. We asked her why. She said it's because I started chanting her husband's name, Dakota.
There's always a few husbands that sneak into the challenge. And we always encourage that because, even with the dynamic of a husband and wife, I work with my husband too. The filter is different because he brings in certain things and you bring in certain things, and there's a different dynamic that happens. So we always encourage it because it becomes much more fun. But there was a few husbands that were in Bestseller Secrets Challenge, and they are definitely more like, the approach is different. It's like they think about the tax write-off and they think about, so it's really fun to get them in there because it's always such a good time. But that's so great that he's such a supporter of you. And yes, and his name was Dakota. And it was a really fun way to weave him in there.
Yeah. And it's actually funny because his input frustrates me because he'll be like, put the eye one place lower. And I'm like, I don't want to undo the whole thing. And he's like, no, it'll look better. Trust me. And then he's right. And I hate it.
He's
Well, that
quality
only
control over
happens
there.
50% of the time, so yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started your business in September, and so we had asked you if you were open to sharing revenue and all that. So
Totally.
back in September, when you launched your business, where did you sell and what did you finish the year of 2020 with in terms of revenue?
For sure. So I started off just selling to friends and family, and they were like, you got to get this online. You got to do this. I wasn't selling anywhere really. I had tried Etsy under a different brand name, and then wanted to go a completely different direction, start fresh with the 100% Canadian wool. And so yeah, I just launched this and started on Shopify. And I
So you just built a website.
just built a website.
So you did that in 2020?
I
That's what you
did.
started with? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Wow.
And how did you get people to visit? Because you said you sold around $500 last year.
Yeah, my total revenue was around $500.
So how did people come find you? Was it really friends and family and like people that you knew first and foremost?
Yeah, it was friends and family. Surprisingly, I did really well on Reddit, posting stuff on Reddit, and then other Facebook groups. I just was like creeping other people who like octopus or whatever, like turtle fan groups, and I would share my links in there, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I love it!" And I got a lot of custom orders that way too, which was really cool.
So
That's
smart.
really smart. That's very like guerrilla marketing, kind of you were going out and you were finding your target audience and like really niching down. That's incredible.
Yeah, I did no paid marketing.
Yeah. And so, you had your own website. Yeah, we try and get as many of our students to do, organic marketing because a lot of times the budget isn't there for paid. If you have it, then do it. But a lot of times it's not there. So as you were sort of doing this, you're guerrilla marketing, getting into these Facebook groups, Reddit, which is an incredible place. What were you sort of experiencing in terms of, struggles or getting your business to where you wanted it to go? What was kind of getting in your way?
Definitely. There's just so many things out there, right? Like how do you, it's like you say, Jacqueline, you're always like a star, like how do you get people to find you? And that stuck with me. And my husband had a good point, and we discussed it a lot, where it's like, you don't need 10,000 visitors. You just need 10. Like if you want to make 10 sales, you need to just go to where those 10 people are. And that's what I did, and just would go to those groups and find them.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're starting out, that's why we love organic so much, is because the feedback is so much more clear when, you're not doing paid ads and you're not sure where it's going. But when you're doing something more of an organic way, it builds organically, so you're able to figure out, oh, this is working or it's not working, or people really like this or they gravitate towards that. So very smart. And wow, I'm so impressed that you actually just threw up a website. That is a hurdle for a lot of people. So good for you.
I cheated. It was part of the Canadian government, actually.
It's not cheating. You took advantage of we have several students that are in Canada that were able to get the same thing. But go ahead and explain it.
Yeah. So the government of Canada, because of COVID, they launched this initiative called Digital Main Street, where they were offering free website building with Shopify. So then obviously I have to pay for it. It was like a couple weeks of a trial. And then, so I got a domain name. I got the website built for me. I've actually changed so much of it though. What they built initially, I was like, it does not work for me. So I had to edit it as I went along. Right. So, that was another huge point of like why I launched.
Well, I think governments or websites, we even saw there were people with Shopify that were trying to connect people, because what we saw in 2020 was, and I know you launched your business, but there were a lot of businesses that were solely in person, boutiques. They just had never gotten their website. They never built a website or were able to connect with customers online and to sell it to them. So, I mean, that's why we saw Facebook launch Facebook shops, right? They've made it easier to shop on Instagram. And then also the fact that like different governments, even in the UK, we had a masterminder that they had given grants to hire people, and she was hiring tech people to also help her with her website.
Yeah. And there's this really cool duo that started a directory last year, I hear.
Who?
It was us.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Right. But it was that idea of like getting as many
She
businesses
goes,
online.
who?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It was a hard time back then.
I
Now the
blacked
directory
it
looks
out.
amazing. Yeah. So we met you in the beginning of the year. You were in our bestseller secrets challenge. So you were in one of our free challenges. I'd love to know, what bestseller did you discover as a newer business and kind of with, fewer sales?
I discovered that I thought for sure it would be like teddy bears, which are like, bigger and more complicated. It was like a turtle and the octopus.
Oh,
And
there
I
you
was
go.
just like,
Yay,
what?
octopus.
Yeah. And it was just crazy. And that actually completely altered my business because I was so focused on making like complicated designs and stuff. And, it would take me 3 to 4 hours to make them. I discovered that, I can whip up a turtle or an octopus in like 45 minutes. And
Oh,
that
wow.
is like crazy fast. And
Mhm.
so it's way more profitable for me too, because I can make 10 of them in a day or whatever, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So
Knowing that
smart.
people want
You're
that.
able to scale it. And who would have thought an octopus, because you're thinking so many
Right.
legs, it would seem complicated.
Yeah.
Mina's not a crocheter. Just FYI.
I mean, okay. So you were in bestseller. And so was it bestseller of 2021? What year?
It was in
Yeah.
spring. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, what year is it? What day are we?
Okay, so you started in September 2020. You went through the holiday season, made $500 in revenue. Then you just worked through our free challenges in January and in May, which were the bestseller secrets challenge, where we help you find your bestsellers and to focus on what works, instead of throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Which
So
we did in our workshop series this last
yes,
like couple weeks. Yeah.
and so you really leaned into that. What else did you? And then what month did you get multi-stream machine?
It was in May, I think. It was spring.
Okay,
Yeah.
May.
Yeah, you had said that you wanted to do it last September, but you missed it. You
Yeah.
just missed they closed the doors. Yeah.
Yeah, I binged
That's
podcasts
right.
instead.
Okay. And then you signed up when we opened the doors again. And I'd love to know sort of what you jumped into in the course initially, and sort of any aha moments you had, or anything that kind of started shifting and changing your business, because I cannot wait to share your
Yeah.
results with
And it's
everyone.
been only 3 months, just so you all know. If you're listening to this in real time, we're recording this. It's been 90 days. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it has been. Oh my God.
Right? Doesn't it feel like forever?
I
I'm
didn't
like,
think
how
about
many
that.
months?
Like,
9 years? No, 90
what month
days.
is
That's
it?
it.
Oh my goodness.
So good job, Stacy.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I jumped into MSM, and as soon as I got it, I just binged it, and I was crocheting and watching it at the same time, and I didn't really like lean into anything. I had initially wanted to lean into like Etsy selling maybe, or the Amazon selling, and I watched the in-person one, and I was like, I think I would do well in person. I think that people would pick them up, see that they're cute, and like I can tell them, okay, they're locally made, it's 100% sustainable, biodegradable, natural. And yeah, I thought that would be a great fit for me. And a friend of mine one of the farmers put on a market, and we're like, oh, do you want to come join us? And it was like, I would have said no if it wasn't for MSM. So I'll put
Really?
that out there 100%, because I was not prepared. I pre MSM, I didn't have stock. I didn't have anything. I made things to order. So
Mm.
after I built up my stock and found my best sellers, if I had made 4 teddy bears versus 20 octopus, it's like, I wouldn't have done as well. But yeah, I did one market with them, and then they had a second market I did. And then I paid for a market at a local mall, and I did $3,000 in revenue.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's
On these
amazing.
plushies.
Yeah.
On octopuses,
Didn't we learn that when you say plural, it's octopus?
Octopus.
No,
Still?
no. It was
Octopi.
Or is
either
it octopuses?
octopi or octopuses. Deal with it, people. It's octopuses. Okay.
Mina and I had to do a whole. We built like an entire course around this. Never launched it.
Yeah.
But we had to research a lot about them.
It is. It's either or. So
See,
that's
mine's
the
up here.
plural. Yeah, yeah. And I have a plushie over there too. So, yes, that's how you pronounce it either way. But yeah, it can be octopi or it can be octopuses. So
And
that
just
was
like
what
for context
we
for
Googled
people, it looks like your average cart value is about $34. Like the octopus, which is your bestseller, is $34. The turtle is $34. So when we're thinking $3,000, that's a lot of units
It
that you
is.
sold.
Yeah. It
I'm
was.
so proud of you for gathering up your inventory. It's one of the things that when you start becoming an artist that you don't realize you need to do is get inventory together. So it sounds like you went to the inventory module, which was module 2, and
Mhm.
then you went to in person, which I don't
Yep.
know which module that is. And you did
Don't
say that
remember.
you improved your website too. Was
Yep.
that one of the other modules?
100%. Yeah.
Hmm.
And added email marketing. So I added in the email pop up and sign up. I don't think I've actually gotten a sale from the email yet, but I haven't really. I've been so focused on in person markets. That's something I'll be leaning into for the holidays for
Well,
sure.
it's been 90 days and let's
Yeah,
just really quick talk. Let's just
that's
really
true.
quick talk about your revenue. So $500 last year and you've 6x, you said?
Yeah, that's 6 times. Yeah.
Hmm.
6 times her revenue. She joined Multi Machine. She made
In
$3,000
90
in person.
days.
I mean, it's bonkers, right? For a new business that you're hand making it all. So everyone that says handmade, it's hard to scale. You're scaling it because I think you leaned into your best sellers. So like you said, instead of making a whole bunch of teddy bears
Hmm.
that people weren't buying, you leaned into the things that they were buying. So you had the inventory when people wanted to sell. Because if you'd only made 2 octopus or 2 turtles,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, time-wise, think about it, right? Because she said 3 teddy bears or 10 or 9
Oh,
octopuses because
yeah.
the time difference, 45 minutes versus
Yeah.
3 hours or whatever it is. Just that's true efficiency right there. So that's
Yep.
amazing. Or streamlining.
I never would have thought of it either because I like I said, I was like, I love the teddy bears. I think they're adorable. Why aren't people buying them? And I had to price them at like I think I started at $90 and then $70, and like I kept bringing it down. I was like, okay, it's not even worth it at this point to make it if I'm selling it for $50. And yet the other ones were profitable and like apparently cuter, and who knew?
Got to give
right?
the customers what they want, right?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? So what are you going to implement next? Because here's the thing about multi-stream machines. So if people who are asking about it, the doors open next Friday. But if you raise your hand and you say MSM in the chat, we are giving the first 100 a special bonus. So you'll be actually given access earlier than other people to get that bonus. But when you learn more about it, we teach that you don't have to start the course at module 1 and end the course at module 10, and then you can take action. Rather, we say go to the modules that apply to your business. So you went to, inventory and pricing. You went to the website and email modules. You went to in person because you're like, let me try and tackle in person. So what's next? Are you going to keep trying to scale? I know Canada's been more locked down, but are you going to keep trying to scale in person? Are you going to try something new? What are you doing for this holiday season?
I am leaning into in person for sure. I actually, you caught me on a good day because at one of my markets, I got a wholesale order,
Wow.
which was huge. She bought like 45 plushies all at once. And
What were they?
it was 14 chickens, 15 pigs, and 15 bees. Oh, it was 15
Oh,
chickens too.
wow.
Yeah.
How
That's amazing.
cute.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. And then, so from that wholesale order, I was able to buy a lot more yarn. And I signed up for another market. At my third market at the shopping mall, the assistant manager of Hallmark cards approached me and was like, hey, do you want to apply to sell your plushies at our store for a day? And I was like, heck yes.
Oh my gosh.
So,
We did not know any of this story, but it
yeah.
keeps
My
getting
mouth
better,
is
let me
open
tell
if you're
you.
listening to this in the
Yeah.
future.
If you can see my eyes are full bulge right
I actually
now.
kind of want to cry a little. Like, I don't know if you can see my
Oh
eyes.
my God, I can't believe it's only been 90 days. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what you need to make too is a sheep.
Yeah. I literally, that wholesale order, I bought like 20, they're called skeins of yarn.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to be making sheep for the future market. So
Yeah.
I
I
got
see a little
approved.
sheep. It's sold out right now, but it's
Yeah.
super adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a chicken with eggs.
Yeah.
That would be, can you make eggs out of the yarn or not?
I
Mina's just
could.
giving you ideas.
I know, right? I can't tell you how
Well,
many
we
people
went to a
send me
farm this
ideas.
past weekend. Okay. I
Anyone
feel
else in
like
the chat want to give ideas?
I have a pig that's not even listed, and I've sold a ton of them in person, and it hasn't even made it to my website yet. So that's like another thing that needs to go up.
Well, I love that too, that you're able to test in person. So like you can get creative, test it. And then if you
Yeah.
see it result, and people buying it, then you can put it on your site and list it, go into
Mhm.
inventory. We talked about that today with one of she's a star student in multi-stream machine. She's now in our masterminds with us. We were talking about her products and she started on Etsy. She now sells on her own website and Amazon, but she tests products on Etsy because she has great traffic and she runs ads. And when she kind of figures out what she wants, then we were just talking to her today about potentially bringing that to Amazon and scaling it. So I love this. And I think for wholesale, have you watched the wholesale module yet?
I did. I haven't done
good.
a line sheet yet.
Okay.
But I haven't had to do one because all my wholesales were in person. They're like, give me 50 plushies. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I want you to think a little bit broader too, as far as like, can we get them to buy 2 turtles? Can we get them to buy a chicken with the eggs? Can we get them to buy a litter of kittens? I don't know.
I was going to say like the farm animal collection, the underwater collection.
Yeah. The farm animals for sure are huge sellers.
Yeah. So like creating a scene and, and getting your cart value to go higher, that would be amazing. I actually saw someone do a crocheted version of a s'mores set. So it was like the campfire, the marshmallows, the sticks, and the graham crackers and everything. And I was like, that is genius. It was very expensive, but I wanted it so bad, So just think about like creating a story around it, but you've been doing fantastic. So that's just amazing.
Thank you. It's it's been a journey.
Happy holidays. Okay, don't think, Jocelyn, what are you talking about? It's still warm outside. I know, but guess what? We want to get you uber prepared for this holiday season because what we want is that you can get consistent sales, right? Have steady growth and keep growing your business beyond always having to offer a discount during the holiday season to drive sales. So if you want to get prepared while it's still warm outside, you can jump in and grab 101 content ideas beyond the holiday discount. And it is a bundle of content prompts, tools, hashtags, and templates. And it includes a 3-month calendar with things to say every single day from October to December. It is so helpful. So go out, enjoy the sunshine, and feel uber prepared for the holiday season when you grab yours now. Just head to holidaycontentideas.com. Amazing journey. Thank you, Dakota, for being like, yes, let's do this, right?
I know.
So we're going to lean into in-person. And then are you working on building your email list? Are you trying to get traffic to your site?
For sure. And I mean, part of this Hallmark thing is that I'll be getting a backlink to my website because they'll be featuring me in a blog.
Amazing.
Which is amazing because to be associated with them at all is like, whoa. So yeah, that is going to be awesome. I want to do a promotion with my email, get people to sign up and get early access to buying because sometimes my plushies sell out. So giving people that early access can incentivize them to buy. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's, I'm sure, raving fans on every single animal. So having that limited quantity and scarcity is really, really smart.
Anyone watching, if you have questions that you'd like to ask Stacy about, business, about potentially getting into multi-stream machine, anything like that, if we are already getting suggestions, monkeys.
I got one for axolotl, and I was like, "What's an axolotl?"
Oh, because it's a Minecraft lizard thingy.
Is it? I don't even know what it is.
So Minecraft comes out with updates all the time, and their one this year is an axolotl, which is like a lizard type thing, and it's you know how like sloths were really in and unicorns and the animal of basically the year. Well, the axolotl is the animal of the year. I didn't even know it was real until I Googled it. So my daughters are all about that too right now.
Amazing. So maybe I'll have to whip some of those up.
Yeah, it's like when people did Bernie with his men.
She has Bernie. I'm about to buy Bernie.
I did Bernie.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
I need Bernie on my shelf behind me.
An axolotl would be so smart.
Yeah.
So I know, the doors aren't open yet, but I know there's a lot of new people that have come in to the Product Boss in this community. So any tips, first off, like just for those people who are new to the Product Boss, I know you were new to us, like you found us because our challenges we try and get in front of as many of you as possible to say, hey, we're here to help. So anything that you would give advice to product-based businesses, entrepreneurs that are, just finding the Product Boss or new to business like you were almost a year ago, that you'd like to kind of give them?
I definitely sign up for MSM when the doors open, number one, because it's like having a coach with you, but not. But don't sign up for it if you're not willing to do the work. because you have to do a lot of work by yourself. A lot of what I did this year was just behind the scenes website building. It looked like I was, dead and out of business for a while because I was, and don't do that, like stay, active. But I definitely, I did so much stuff behind the scenes and just needed to focus on that stuff. And I wanted to get streamlined for this holiday season. So that way it would just be like, plug and play, put up my plushies and then see where they go. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyone getting started, I mean, persevere. There have been many days where I was like, I'm just going to go back to retail. I can't do this. The money's not consistent. It's frustrating. Nobody knows who I am, or I'm not good enough. And then somehow things can just take off.
And they
I mean,
have.
things take off because you created the momentum. I 100% agree with you that you really need to take responsibility for the actions you're putting in, and
Mhm.
that, multi-stream machine is just a tool. It's
Yeah.
a tool and a vehicle to get to where you want to go. It's an implementation program. So
Yeah.
that, people do have to implement it. But I love how you have really, it got your wheels turning on what you could do. Because even you've
Yeah.
mentioned your website, which is direct to customer, the in-person events, which you never would have done, the wholesale module, which got you really thinking about that, and that you're priced correctly. All these different things, building inventory, all kind of weaves together and into a snowball, right? So
Mhm.
I'm so excited to see what you're going to do this holiday season. You've only gone through one holiday season. I can't even imagine with all, what all you have in your tool belt now, what you're going to do. So that is just, this has been such an incredible story to hear.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, I couldn't have done it without you guys. Like, had I not discovered the podcast or, the bestseller secrets challenge, I mean, I would probably just still be selling to friends and family. I wouldn't have taken that leap. And also, I mean, the government grant helped a lot. So if you have any grants in your area, check it out, Google it, take advantage of it. It's there for you, and learn from people who've been before you, because you can't do it on by yourself. You really can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And we like to tell everyone you're not alone. So listening to Stacy's story, you can see that I'm sure a lot of you can see yourselves in her story, right? Like a maker starting out, going to friends and family and trying to do it. And one thing I just want to say, and your perfect example is like you have control of the gas pedal, like how fast you go. So Stacy's a really good example of, she's had these opportunities. She got a wholesale order, but you're getting to control that. Like, cause I think sometimes when people think about joining multi-stream machine, for example, they're afraid that they're like, they have that fear of business going too fast, growing too fast. Like that's sometimes the thing that holds them back. And you've had the tools that at least when the opportunities have presented themselves to you, you've been able to take advantage of them, right? Like the wholesale order, you would have been sort of just like, yeah, I can sell wholesale had you not maybe had a module to go back to or that you
Yeah.
had gone through to have, and then you could have said yes or no, but at least you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yep, exactly. And I knew, like, I mean, another thing, I know it's a big recommendation, is the book Profit First.
Mhm.
So I read that book and learned from that too, and just learned how to budget. And like today, I was ordering new business cards, and I was like, Dakota, should we get T-shirts? And he was like, I mean, yeah, we should. And then I looked at the money, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that money towards a market instead. And like you just have to be wise and figure out, like, I'm not made of money right now. Hopefully, one day I will be. But just being wise and putting your dollars where they count.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're first starting off, it really isn't investing in your business a lot of times. Your
Mhm.
ROI came quickly though. 90 days
Yeah,
is really fast. Were there times when you felt like it was going too slow for you though?
definitely. It's funny. Right after I signed up for MSM, I was like, why did I pay this much money? This is going nowhere. And I was like reading stories about, like, oh, I made my return in 30 days. And I was like, I've made nothing. What did I get myself into? But it was investing in that, spending time with that, and being like, yeah, just putting in the work and staying consistent.
So real quick though, because you bring this up, and we do like we share how fast people made their investment back. They invest in a multi-stream machine, and then
Mhm.
how fast then? Because we are still only talking about 90 days, friends. So yeah, maybe it was in the first 30 days, but how quickly did you make your investment back?
Uh, it would have been, after my second market. So that would have been probably 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
10
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
So 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 months is no time at all. Even 90 days, when you think about it, we've lived a lifetime in these 90 days.
I mean, we had no idea that maybe 3 months ago.
Right. So it really is like, sometimes you do feel that is the entrepreneurial, because I want to say this because I assumed it was slow because of summer season. So
Yes.
this past
Summer was
90
hard.
Yeah. The summer, June, July, August, you actually built it up in the slowest time of year, especially for crocheted items.
Yeah.
Knitted, or I'm not sure,
But
your
they're
items.
like they're cold weather items, right? Like when
Yes,
you go
they
for
are.
like cuddlies,
Definitely.
and giftables, and this isn't a time when I mean, this summer everybody was out of their house. I don't know, all of you that are watching, it was slow. People went
Across the
on
board,
trips.
every industry, except for travel, of course, but every industry and every product person that we knew, it was a slow season. So people started to feel a little bit of that. They started to feel the weight of that. But, typically in consumer, when you're thinking about consumer spending, the J's, June and July, were always slow, which is
The
why,
J months.
which is why Amazon Prime was in June and Christmas in July, or Amazon Prime was in June this year, but it's usually in July. And then there's always Christmas in July. So typically summer is really slow. So very, very, very proud of you that you took that time to really still implement, and you are seeing the results now, because it really is about the time you had put in then.
And not only that, like if you said you made $3,000 in one show, you basically doubled your investment, right? So it wasn't just like one, you doubled it, which is incredible. There was a question from Laura who says, how many hours did you put into your training per night? Did you break it down per night, or how did you go about it?
I did not. I just kind of binged. I found them addictive because I was just like, I always am watching, it sounds horrible, but I'm always watching true crime documentaries while I'm making these adorable stuffed animals.
Oh, I don't blame you. I could do the perfect murder right now if I needed to.
Yeah, like it'll be horrible. My husband will walk in and he's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Nothing." Just make the plushies. But yeah, like I'm totally about binging things and crocheting. So I just poured myself into it. But I had the time to, because it was a slow time.
Right.
And in Canada, we were still locked down at that point. And then everything opened up and everyone disappeared. So whenever things opened up with markets again, I was like, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. And our lessons within the modules are maybe 20 minutes a lesson or so. I mean, maybe one goes longer, like 40 minutes, but they're the same way that we teach our challenge. I know a lot of you are going to kind of experience that next week. Is we break it down into bite-sized pieces with action items and we walk you through it. So it's not really now I have to go figure this out on my own. So
yeah. And they're even the long ones. I mean, I think that you all know that Jacqueline and I don't have a short point ever in our lives.
So
it's still
so fast
fun.
with our talking.
Yeah. Still fun learning. So for a multi-stream machine, for all of you that are thinking that, well, how many hours does it take? It really is about how you learn. So if you learn while you're binging and you're able to do other things, and you auditorially can hear it and you can see the video, or you have worksheets, if that's the way you work best, then you know that that type of course is right for you. Also, if you learn even from our podcast and the sound of our voices, then you know that we're the type of coaches and mentors that really align with you. So we aren't for everybody, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people learn differently. So it's really nice to know how you best learn, because then you can really invest in self-education and you know that it will work for you.
Yeah. There's video. You also can download the audio. There's subtitles. So really we try and help. Somebody said there's a couple of things actually about showing your face. So I guess, have you shown your face on your Facebook page or business page, or do you on your Instagram, do you show yourself, or do you show just the product right now?
I just started showing myself this past summer, and I was terrified. Oh my gosh. Doing this, terrifying.
Good thing we were a mess before.
Yeah, we've been pushing it all kinds of different ways.
Yeah, I am an introvert through and through.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's what I used to say, Stacy. That's what I used to say.
Now look at her cracking jokes. So
I
you
know.
started showing your face on your Instagram and whatnot. And are you seeing it different? Like, is it resonating with people any differently?
It is. It's funny. My Instagram following is actually I'm not even at 500 followers yet. And my business is still doing really well. And I'm not even actively trying to grow it at this point because I'm doing so well with in person. And, generally every follower I get is like a genuine fan. So I have, 400, however many followers that are people who are like, I love what you do. It's not
Mhm.
2,000 people that just scroll past. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you're also tying things in locally too. So
yeah,
it probably will end up being a lot of local people that you find in person that hop onto your Instagram and it becomes, all interconnected. But
mhm,
I think that's amazing because there's a lot of people. I mean, we talk a lot about path to profit and we talk about it in multi-stream machine too, that it looks different for everybody. A
yeah,
lot of people get stuck because they think that Instagram is the way for everybody when it isn't. When
yeah,
clearly for you, it is it's probably your website, building inventory. So it would
mhm,
go inventory, pricing, probably website, in person, and then wholesale. Like that, I
yeah,
just kind of made that up,
And
according
Instagram's not
to your store.
even, she's got less than 500 people. So
Yeah.
she's just
yeah,
showing her face. But if I want you all to see this and hear this, that Instagram is not the way that she has 6X'd her business. So while we recommend you have a presence on social media and we recommend that like it's a way to like talk to your customers or to
And
show your
gain
products.
clarity, even, you
Mhm.
know?
And if a store does find you and they tag you that, Hallmark tags you all of a sudden, I mean, amazing.
yeah,
And also they'll use that to be like, oh, is this person a legit business? But
yeah,
we've worked with a $4 million Etsy business, top 1%. She had less than 500 followers. We
hmm
worked with a $15 million business that sells majority through Amazon. 15 million friends.
Yeah.
Okay. She basically joined our mastermind, I think, just to get her Instagram to 1,000 followers.
She didn't need us. We were like,
She didn't, she was
you're
like,
doing just fine.
she was doing amazing. So I want you all to realize that it just depends on the way you want to market, the way that you have to create, you have to personify your brand in some sort of way. And when I say personify, it's more of like, why does your customer need it, want it, or desire it, right? Like, what is the thing about it? She has these cute animals that could technically be, it could be them in your hands. But right now,
hmm
she's not needing Instagram to grow her business. So all of you that are really worried about showing your face and all that, we will teach you this. We'll teach you to show up. We'll teach you to show your face and to be, but she is her face in person. She's
Yeah.
creating relationships in person,
yep,
which is ultimately what eventually we want you all to transfer to social media too, because that's where the magic happens.
yep.
Yeah.
And I must say, like pre MSM, like last Christmas, I was all about Instagram. I spent so many hours like making reels, deleting reels, trying different things. I would post every single day, multiple times a day. And I wish I would have spent that time just making inventory and just, I wish I did a market because that would have been so much better and it would have been such a waste of time. It's addictive to want to be like, I got one more follower and, I'm hoping to hit 1,000 and, but I mean, go where the money is.
Yeah. I'd rather you hit
Yeah.
$1,000, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Quicker.
Lean
Yep.
into what works. But it is
Exactly.
good that you did try it because here's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Now you know what it's like to do those things. You're exercising that muscle. So I'm really proud of you for doing the reels, even if you deleted them. And then you got into the new year, which is when we did Bestseller Secrets Challenge. And, your path is your path,
Mhm.
So while you had done all this growth within the last 90 days, it's kind of like looking at people and thinking they were an overnight success or they're a 90-day success. But really,
Mhm.
it actually tracks back, to the beginning of the year, the end of last year, all of it kind of ties together. So really proud of you for trying all that. But, and then knowing that maybe that isn't the path for you.
Mhm.
At least
Absolutely.
not
And
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm
no.
still open to Instagram. I post every day and I want to have a following because I think what helped boost my business a lot is having the website that people can go to and see my product. It's proof of concept. and having the Instagram as well, it's showing I've been at these markets, I've done these plushies, I did this wholesale order, so people see, okay, she's a legitimate business.
I would put Hallmark all up there, all your
When she gets in
markets.
Hallmark.
Yeah, all of it up there because it humanizes your brand. Instagram is great for that. So
Yeah.
even if you don't have a lot of followers, if somebody's going to validate you on Instagram, then they'll be able to see what you've done, and it's easier because they're just scrolling their fingers, and it's just really easy for them to be like, oh yeah, that's a great business. I do want to work with them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking forward to it.
We are so proud of you.
Thank
This
you.
is incredible. Just, you 6x'd your revenue in, basically 10 weeks, you doubled what your investment was in a multi-stream machine. You have made your first wholesale sale. You might get into Hallmark because you've shown up. You've realized that in-person works for you. And I think your next step also is wholesale. You turned down a full-time job last week because you are staying a full-time product boss. Everyone here is so proud of you. So let's all give her a round of applause and some support. And if you need adorable gifts for anybody, including Bernie, which I'm about to drop $100 on that.
She doesn't have the time to knit that thing, okay?
No, I made 2 of them.
Do you have inventory? Okay, cool.
I made 2 of them. I'm like, I'm done, Bernie. You're too much work. I'm going to Turtles, and
I know we're past the trend, but I'm kind of in love. So there you go. But yeah, you're just incredible. And I think, so all of you remember to support small businesses, support each other, right? A lot of you sometimes are like, how do I find new customers? How do I, grow my following? Well, right now, there's thousands of you in this Facebook group. We did a whole Instagram post, follow each other, right? You see Stacy on here, go follow her on Instagram. Let's get her, 70 more followers right now. Buy from her. Right? These are adorable gifts. Don't buy the things that she sold out of, but buy the things she has.
Clearly,
Yeah. And yeah, any parting words for everyone?
Oh gosh. Put in the work, show up, be yourself, and people will buy from you because you're you. And just be kind and learn from others.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Hey, Product Boss. It's that time of year again. The holiday season is just around the corner, and here at the Product Boss, we are getting prepared early for the holiday season. Now, we know you're going to have a lot more than turkey and pumpkin pie on your plate later this year. So, we want to invite you to our free 3-part workshop series, The Product Boss's Guide to Getting Holiday Ready and Recession-Proofing Your Business. Now, these workshops are brand new and revamped, and we're sharing some of the biggest tips and tricks on how to prepare yourself and your business so you can 2x your sales without 2xing your efforts. And with talks of a down economy, we want to make sure that you feel confident and prepared to push through no matter what. Listen, Product Boss, if we've learned anything over the past 2 years, we know you've got this, and we're stronger building our businesses together. And honestly, we have way too much fun to call it work. So the first workshop kicks off soon. Head to theproductboss.com/holiday to sign up today, and we will see you in there. Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.